Hi. Okay, so this is definitely different than our regular team calls for Team Living Proof, and we have special guest star. She's actually a one-star diamond now. Carly, I don't know all of your stuff that has come on, but like all of your successes, but one-star diamond. She just reached probably like a month ago. She will have a 5-star elite team by the end of the year because that is what she is pushing for. That is one of her goals, and it's gonna happen. And so this is special guest Carly. And we're doing this call because I think it would be very good for Team Living Proof to hear Carly's story and a diamond mindset. Because
I think so.
I think that's where we should all get to, is that diamond mindset. And I had the diamond mindset. Can everyone hear me? We're good. Okay. I had the diamond mindset when I was growing my organization to a diamond. I always thought like a diamond, and I really feel like everyone has to put that, if, this is my disclaimer, if they want a diamond team, that you really have to think like one before you were even there. Like now that I'm trying to push for this 1-star well, I would like to I'm pushing well to 5-star as well by the end of the year. So I have to think that way. I think whatever advancement you want to get to, you need to think that way. Anyways, so I asked Carly to be on this call because her and I are very similar, and this is where this is important. Carly, I don't know if you talk about it much on your team. I feel like with my team, I do not talk about this a lot, and I should. And it's more of getting an accountability partner, and not even just an accountability partner, but opening yourself up into this business of meeting people like you that aren't on your team. So Carly and I, for people who do not know, Carly and I are in the same organization with the Goal Getters. Carly, so there's Lindsay Gray, and Amanda's under Lindsay, and then there is a certain person underneath Amanda, and then Carly. Lindsay and Amanda adopted Carly and took her with them since her coach is not active. So I don't know how Carly and I formed a friendship. I think it was, we both used the FUCK word, and we're like, oh my God, you swear too? I love you. And actually have formed a genuine friendship. I talk to Carly almost every day. It's really good to have her. It's good to have her in my life because she pushes me to another level of not being, like how this like whole like girl boss, like you could be like kind of shy away from it. Like Carly pushes me to the level where it's like, F yes, I'm really going to try not to swear. So if it comes out, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be professional here. So she pushes me on the scale. It's like, F yes, let's do this. And excites me about being an entrepreneur. So it's just good to find somebody to not shut yourself off from other teams and just kind of get to know people, because you never know who your new internet best friend can be. Carly and I have a dream too to go to LA. I know she's pushing that with her team as well. And we went to Mexico together. I mean, at Summit, it's like a sisterhood. So I strongly suggest getting outside of, even if it's a person in your own team, just to like form friendships, because you never know what can come out of it. So I'm kind of just going to let Carly talk about being a diamond and what that's all about. Carly and my team, I run calls as like an open forum. So again, for Living Proof, this is not going to be like an open forum discussion like we usually have. Carly's going to do her presentation, and then at the end, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask her. And that's all I got. Take it away.
Oh, I love you. You're awesome.
Love you.
And I agree. By the way, hi, Mandy. Mandy is one of Jamie Lincoln's coaches.
Hi.
And I saw you just signed up with Discount Coach Girl. So anyways, I'm really happy to be here. And hi, Val. And hi, anybody who's watching this recording. I couldn't agree more with what Courtney just said. Courtney is like I guess I'm the one that pushes her. Courtney is like my moral support that I don't get from any other area of my life, I think, too. So you just never know. And I think she's so right. So what I'm going to share with you guys tonight is a lot of learnings that I've had. I want to cover definitely the diamond mindset. And it's like, it's funny. I probably will swear on this call. I hope that's cool with you guys. I kind of speak from the heart. I do have some slides put together just so I don't get off course. And I'm going to share those with you guys. But I think it's also important that some of you know a little bit of background about me, because I think a lot of people have like a perception of, let me know when you can see my screen. I don't even know what that error is.
We can, yeah. Oh, when your slides are up?
Yeah, tell me when you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. All right, cool. Clearly doing this last minute. That's how I roll. I'm super, super professional like that. But true story. All right, so I wanted to start out with this. Like, I think it's really important to know in this business, especially if you're going to hit a diamond mindset, which I'm going to get more into, is that people really know a lot about you. Now, on this call, I would say a lot of people know a lot of things about me, and I think that says volumes to what I share on social media. So that's going to be my first tip to you. My background is I was a party girl, drank a lot, did a lot of drugs. Me and Courtney can relate to each other in that sense. I was a bartender, worked in the restaurant industry, and then I was in culinary school while doing that. So like I had a really hard lifestyle, never saw anybody on the weekends. No one ever saw me. Eventually I put my foot down when I got out of college and I joined the corporate world. Now that was a huge change because I was like dropping F-bombs in the back of kitchens, and then I was sitting at tables doing conferences, in person, and had to get dressed up and get up early. And that was weird for me, but like I knew I needed consistent income. So I thought that was the dream. I thought that that's what I was supposed to work for. Right. And as I'm telling my story, I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. And so I thought that I could escape that reality through the corporate world, right? In the corporate world, I felt very strangled. I felt very much in a place where I remember calling my dad on the phone and saying, Dad, there is no way I was made to sell and analyze battery sales. I know I was made for something more. And like, I didn't know what it was at that point. I had no idea what coaching was. All I knew is I met my husband at the time. We fell super hard for each other. I met him in Chicago at a hotel when I was traveling for work, and I just needed to lose a little bit of weight for my wedding. And I ended up joining a clean eating group. That's how I got with Beachbody. I had no clue it had anything to do with Beachbody. Saw someone post in that clean eating group about 10-minute abs. 10-minute abs came into my life with the 21-day fix, the Shakeology Challenge Pack. And 2 weeks later, my coach telling me she thinks I would be a great coach because I had already lost 6 pounds and 9 inches within that first couple weeks, okay? So it fell into my lap out of nowhere. And it was that glue, that passion that I was missing. Because what this opportunity as coaches does is it allows us to be creative, allows us to stay in shape, it allows us to have the flexibility in our schedules and limitless amount of money. We can make as much money as our heart desires, okay? So I'm going to talk a lot about that too. So I meet all these really cool people. I get married to my husband. I end up paying for almost our entire wedding within the first 16 months of this business. So I went into it really hard, not really realizing what I was doing. I'm a pearl. So if you like gems, I am a helper. I like helping people, and I am a sapphire. So I like to party and I like to have fun, right? And now I'm married today. I have a daughter, and I walked away from that corporate job when I was pregnant because they told me they wanted me to move to St. Louis when I was 26 weeks pregnant. And it was scary. And we weren't about to move again because we had just moved into our house and we were getting ready to have a baby. And so I took a leap of faith, and I wasn't even a diamond at that point in my business. And it was really scary, you guys. I was making a significant amount of money, but I knew I knew what I wanted, and I went for it. Okay. So I've been now coaching for almost 4 years in August. And I think that all of these things that I explained are parts of me that a lot of people can relate to in certain areas of their life, you know, the restaurant person, the bartender, the corporate job person, the person who doesn't have, you know, they're missing something in their life. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a rescue mom. I grew up in an alcoholic home, which was really hard. I suffered from anxiety and depression. I still do at times. And I'm just really fucking weird. And so is my kid. And so is my husband. And so is my dog. And I like to, you know, portray that. And when I started this business, one of the things that I knew I wanted was I wanted to pay it forward to others, right? Because I'd started something. And so the name of my team became Push Play It Forward, because I knew we were striving to push play every day, even though I'm not great at that all the time. But I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And today we are a team of 30 people, and then there's about 245 of us in our bigger network. That just means like there's a crap load of people on my leg. Okay, so I don't have 244 coaches. I'm not that important yet. I have 30. And I made my first 4-figure paycheck with 30 coaches, but only 4 of them actively working. That's a really, really important thing for you to know. So when I explain all this to you guys, it's because I want you to know that I just gave you the surface level stuff with the whole how I became a diamond, and I made this 4-figure paycheck, my first one, right? But like in the midst of all that, and when I met Courtney, I literally have gone through so much with this coaching business. You know, I work full time. I had a baby. I moved across the country. There's a lot of things that popped up. And a lot of people in this business really want to hit diamond. And I will tell you, that is where your business starts. So if you're not actively thinking about diamond, but you want to be a diamond, really start thinking about it more. And the one thing you need to know is that everybody wants to be a diamond, but only a few are willing to get cut. And I'll explain to you what that means. But a lot of people like use, you know, quotes about diamonds, like diamonds are made under pressure. And that is for sure. We don't have a ton of pressure on us to hit diamond unless we put it on ourselves. You know, diamonds are a girl's best friend. Sure, great. Me and Courtney are diamonds, and did we become best friends through that? Maybe. But being a diamond, this quote could not hold more true, because I think Courtney can even talk about this herself. When you are striving for diamond, one of the things you're going to learn is that it's really hard to hold it. And there are going to be a lot of things that you learn along the process that are so exciting, and they truly shape you into who you are as an entrepreneur. You're going to lose coaches, you're going to gain coaches, you're going to think you have it all figured out, and you won't. You have to go into diamond as in like this coachable mindset. And, you know, you really have to figure out what it is that you want, and you got to make that intentional. Because once you figure out what you want, it's not just going to be this rank. You know, we talk about the diamond mindset, but as a diamond, what is the potential earning you can make, Courtney? Do you even know? I want to say it's definitely 6 figures, something long.
I think it's probably that.
Okay.
I think the potential you can make with, yes, for sure.
I think it is too. So for those of you that don't know, it's like you're going to, you get the biggest cycle bonus you can get through a diamond. And that's why that's why we always say like, that's where you want to hit it. But getting there is the part where it molds you and it shapes you, and it becomes like this amazing culture. Okay. It's this amazing journey, this amazing process. So when I say you must make it intentional, here's the couple things that I'm going to talk to you guys about. What it takes to go diamond is you need to know, like, you have to identify what you need to get to diamond. So does everyone know what that looks like on this call? Does everyone know like that you need 5 coaches on each side and then 2 emeralds?
It's 4.
4, sorry.
But we should strive for 5 on each, because that, like, going back into Carly's thing of like, once you do get to diamond, it is hard to stay there. Like, so like you should focus on the 5 on each side.
Absolutely. I always did, just because a lot of people go inactive and stuff like that. And we're going to get a little bit more into, you know, how it is to like maintain it and set it up. But, you know, even when you are the best way to learn how to get to diamond is honestly to try to teach somebody how to get to diamond. That's one of the things that I learned the hard way. Even just like, I wish I would have like educated people on it so that I could understand what it was. Cause I was just signing up coaches and learning how to do discount things. And I'm going to explain to you guys again too later on in this call, what I think you should do, first steps. So bear with me here, but you know, identify what you need to get to diamond, set up a one-on-one call with your coach, and you are going to create an action plan. You have to think of this like as starting a fitness program. It's like you have the meal plans and you got to do the prep work. You know, you got to write it all out and then you got to go grocery shopping and execute it. That's no different than what it is to become a diamond. This business is so similar to starting a fitness journey. You would not believe it. So your mindset is a big piece. And I know Courtney talked about that, like thinking like a diamond. Like your why is one big thing. And I know that the why is such a thrown around word in the Beachbody world, right? Like connect with your goal with your why. Okay, that sounds pretty cliche, but your why literally has to make you cry. So it's got to be something as if your life depended on it. You know, like for me, I had no choice to hit diamond because obviously I lost my job and I knew that I wasn't going to move. And so I had that gut burning fire. But before that, I had that same thing because I knew that I wanted to get Mike's family, my husband's family is from Europe, like here to visit him, or we wanted to go there. There was always something that was going to bring me to tears, you know, whether that be sending your daughter to a different school or your son. Maybe it's buying your dream car. Maybe it's, I don't know, supporting your parents in some way, something that relates to who you are and that you could make someone proud or yourself proud. That's going to be your why. That is what's going to get you to the business activities that drive you to diamond and building a better life, not only for you, but your family, period. So I think another thing is, and I know Courtney is a big mindset person, is the belief. You have to really believe that you can do it and that you deserve to do it. There's nothing scarier than saying like, I can't hit diamond and watching other people hit it and then you beating yourself up. You really have to believe and start thinking like a diamond and knowing that you deserve to hit diamond. Sometimes it's cliche not to think that you need to make money or, you know, money is a greedy thing. It's not. You can do a lot of things with money and you can help a lot of people the more money you have. You need a book about that? Read You Are a Badass at Making Money. Your vision is what your business will look like a year from now, 5 years from now. Who will be on your team? What does your life look like? And your life really becomes what you think about most of the time. So I don't know how many of you were at Summit this year, but there was a really cool thing that they actually had us do is visualize what we were doing. And they played that Gladiator song. Have you guys ever watched that movie, The Gladiator? When the guy is walking through the fields at the end when he's like dead. It's kind of, it's intense. Find that song, Google it on YouTube, close your eyes and picture your life in this business.
Now.
It's amazing. Picture your life like literally the guy was like narrating. He said, everybody close your eyes. He goes, picture where you would be a year from now. And he explains to you then like you're pulling up in the driveway of your home. He's like, I want you to picture what car you're in, what the seats feel like, what the color of your car is. Picture your feet walking up to your house, what your porch looks like, what the smells are like around you when you're walking into your house. And of course, I'm picturing like my dream home with like flowers up the porch and, you know, I'm walking into like a big, like open doorway and just that feeling. And then like, you know, you're grabbing a cup of coffee. Maybe you just grabbed your kids out. Like all of that stuff is visualization. So it's visualizing where your life would be a year from now when you had everything that you wanted, materialistic or not, doesn't matter. It's not just like, oh, well, I want a paycheck and you're picturing the word $2,000 on it. I'm talking everything in between that and how you feel. And then make it happen. Set your mind to success and say that's your only option. Failure is not an option. That's a really good quote from Miss Lindsay Gray. She talks about that all the time. And no matter what, I'm doing this and nothing is going to stop me. So that means that you kind of just have to have the mindset of like, I don't care how long this is going to take me. That's how I've been. You know, be stubborn with your goal and flexible with your methods. That's my honest advice. So all of this, believe it or not, is the most important thing that's going to get you to where you need to be. Everything else is just kind of details. They're more like emerald things that I'm not used to, but I included them anyways. But like setting a goal date and creating a master plan to achieve it, so you can write down that goal date, everything, you're 52% more likely to hit a goal if you write it. So I can give you guys a sheet with all this information on it, and you can write down your goal date and then get yourself an accountability partner. And I know that Courtney said that, but like, even if right now you don't know who your accountability partner is, or you maybe find her along the way, because Courtney and I weren't seeking out accountability partners, it just kind of happened. And then we just sort of happened to work the business together. And again, that's why it's so important just to talk to people even outside your team, because you might be like, oh, I like their posts. Like, don't be scared to talk to them. And Courtney, to answer your question, I think you just reached out to me to ask me a question. And then of course I like spilled my heart, and that's how I am. I just basically started talking.
Right. I think that's how that happened too.
For sure. Like,
and then we started to do those programs together.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And we did, that's a really cool thing. Like running a challenge group together brings you really close to people. And Courtney and I did the ultimate reset. So, you know, that's an intense program that maybe you do something like that. You push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's another thing you want to do as a diamond is, you know, try something that you've never done before.
Which I will be doing that I will be doing that in the wintertime again.
Yes, me too.
You know, I wish I would have done that, but I got on the 80-day and that's fine. But I'm doing the ultimate reset again.
It's an amazing program. It's
really
definitely a challenge, but if you guys ever get the chance to do it, your coach she knows what's up. She's pretty dope like that. Oh, sorry. I just went back. So these are some tips. I'm not going to get like too deep into them, but you can even draw out what diamond looks like. Like this is kind of like a teacher thing. Everybody's brain works differently, but like maybe you just take a sheet of paper and you draw your legs and you draw the little legs, and then you take a picture and you send it to your coach. Like your coach, and I know this about her. She not only will she dig in and help you just like me, but like she's going to go at your pace. So if you and anybody on our team within Goal Getters is going to do the same thing. So if she sees that you're after something, she's going to link arms with you and she's going to run with you. But she's only going to go at your pace. She's not going to kill herself because she's busy doing other shit. So if you're not showing her that you're trying to reach something, I'm not speaking for Courtney. This is how I am actually. Mm-hmm. Like that's usually how people work. It's the same thing with like friendships and stuff. But another thing is to do like a Mac Daddy list. You can highlight your top 10 people that you want to contact with about joining you. You know, take a picture, send it to your coach, put that shit out in the universe. Fill up your calendar with events and invite. If you are not in Rock Your Network Marketing business or Rock Your Network Marketing business group with Christina Sullins, she's laying this out so freaking beautifully for us. But the more people you can get in front of, the better. So these are just some ideas that you can do, the greater your chance of hitting, run a what is coaching call. Like you could do it live, you could do it in an event, you could do it privately. You guys want a presentation? I have one. I will give it to you. You definitely need to have some sort of business opportunity presentation. And if that scares the crap out of you, good. Because it's the one thing that you need to perfect in this business. And it's the best way to tell your story and to learn how to better attract your people and get better every time. Like I've told what is coaching for the last 2 years, but I don't think I started getting good at it until like the 20th time, to be honest with you. So you just kind of have to practice. You can have a Shakeology party, invite some people over. You got kids, make a play date. You got a dog, do a dog date. You got a nobody, I don't know, have a spouse date and make some Shakeology for people. Invite them to like one of our live events, like a Super Saturday, or you could do like a little live workout. It's nice out, especially up here in the Midwest. Be a testimonial on a live webinar, meaning like that's just doing something like on Facebook. I don't know why I put it like that, but just like sharing your story about how you Beachbody changed your body, changed your mind, whatever way you want to communicate it. And then put it on YouTube and call it something and use hashtags. That's a really good one. And then there's also like IGTV and there's IG, Instagram Live. So you can there's so many places you can do it. And sometimes you got to just start. You want to know how I learned? I was so scared to talk on social media, you guys. So scared. So do you know where I started talking? Snapchat. Snapchat leveraged my business to places that it was the year that I started working with Courtney. And I just started sharing like my food and stuff. And that's how it started. And then I started sharing more food tips because I was getting a positive response. So whatever your jam is, you're really good at workouts, explain your workouts. If you're really good at meal prep, explain meal prep. If you're really good at plating food or, I don't know, cute outfits, like start talking about that on your Instagram stories or your Snapchat or whatever you use. And then you'll get better at speaking in front of people or the screen, because at the end of the day, that's really what you're doing.
I told the girls too, I think it was a call that we did. I told them too that I have practiced in the mirror talking about when people ask you in person, because I explained on this call, like to talk to people in person, like, and I said that I've practiced in the mirror, like getting ready, putting on my makeup, explaining, but just saying, like when people are like, oh, well, what do you do? And instead of like shying back and be like, oh yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach, it's like, oh, I'm a health and fitness coach. And then they're going to ask you what that is, and just like practice it, because the more you practice it, the more you're going to be comfortable with it.
I love that. And another one that's big, like anticipate your responses. It's a really good tip. Like a lot of people say to me like, oh, you do that pyramid scheme. So the first thing that I know, and I hear that out of somebody's mouth, I say, well, what does a pyramid scheme mean to you? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people don't even know. And I bleep that out. They just don't. They just assume it's something. And I guess technically there's a pyramid scheme for everything. But like, if you don't know what that is and you don't feel comfortable talking about it, get on YouTube and learn how top coaches explain pyramid schemes and why we're not one and why we're organically created because of successful results, So you have to get comfortable with that stuff. And also maybe like make your spouse do it with you. Make your best friend like school you to get in person, because that's the best way to do it. We can hide behind our phones all day, but that's only going to take us so far in this biz, right?
Right.
Identify who you think will go to Emerald on each leg. Like once you have that top 10 and take the steps you need to make, if you don't know who's working towards Emerald or maybe who wants to build a business, you got to ask. You got to ask those questions, especially when you're talking to people about the business opportunity. It's the same thing as consulting them when you would a challenge back. Like, well, what do you like about your job? What do you not like about your job? What do you wish you had for your family that maybe you don't have right now? Just ask them like normal friend stuff. I do that to Courtney, and like, I'm not interrogating her life, or I would do that to like Mandy or whoever. But you can say something like, I'm looking to work with 1 or 2 coaches on my team to advance to Emerald rank and build a business. If that's you, message me today and let's set up a call. All you got to do is ask. Help them build their first list of contacts from there. Highlight the people they want to reach out to about coaching, and help them set up exposures. So now you're just basically duplicating the stuff that you've already learned, right? And then you can even, like this week, I'm doing 2 3-way calls with some of my coaches who are trying to build to Diamond, because I think one of the biggest things with our business is people a lot of times join for the community. Because I remember joining my first challenge group and I'm like, why is everyone so fucking nice? Like, this is weird. Like, why is everyone so happy and encouraging? People don't have that. They don't have what we have. And just by listening to somebody and like encouraging them and telling them where you've been, like, you would have no idea. You have like an obligation as a coach to do that. Like, you have a gift, and then work from your list versus your inbox. I was so bad at this, you guys. I can honestly say I wouldn't recommend this, but I did that. I probably had Diamond this way, and then I really scrambled, and I was like, oh, I need to get organization, because that's not my strong suit. Some people are really good at that. It's not mine. But, use Teamsy, use Google Streak, use something, and get all your contacts and drive to them, and a decision with an incentive. Use a power hour method, like invite to a business presentation 3 to 5 people and make that your goal and nothing less. Build content and serve it, choose a platform like we kind of talked about, and then use it to serve your audience. You could use YouTube, you can use IGTV, Instagram Live, whatever. And then obviously I know Courtney talks about it. Courtney is really good with like Instagram and social media in general. Right now she's doing like a podcast. Like that's something that Courtney is going to be able to leverage. So she's a great example to like get people away from just visiting your Facebook page or just your feed, get them into another place. Use something else to drive traffic where it would get lost. Like, cause you can only do so much in your posts, guys. If you're just doing posts every day, and that's great because you're still getting people to look at your journey, but like you have to push and do something else if you want to succeed in this business. So the reason why I'm laying this stuff out for you is because if you look at anyone successful on social media and that you follow and you kind of admire, like they're talking on some other platform than just their posts. They're not just posting on Instagram every day. They're talking on live. They're doing something. Any top coach is doing that. And it makes you look like as a leader in your industry. So even if you're scared and you open up your first live and you're like, this is terrifying me, but I'm going to do it because I know that's what it takes to succeed. Just do it. What are you going to do?
I will say real quick on the live thing, it is way easier to go on Instagram Live than it is Facebook Live. Yes. I've done the Instagram Live and I'm way comfortable over there compared to the Facebook one. I don't know what it is about the Facebook Live, but I'm just like, get on the Instagram Live because those lives are way easier to do. And it gives your audience, they get to see you, even if you're just talking to them,
Yes. Even if you're just talking to them about like, Courtney, you'll do stuff like this all the time. You'll talk about what, like, I don't know, a hair product, or you love like those stupid reality shows. So do I. But like, stuff like that, pick some topics to start with that you're really good at and and you're going to attract your people that way. And it positions you in a different light. So they almost look to you like, oh, I can learn something from her. You want to make sure that people know that you're kind of an expert at something in your life and you're not just some other chicks posted on social media. It's not that scary. It just takes some thought process on your end to figure out what that is. And then, brand you. And everybody talks about your brand and blah, 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 blah. Like, people follow leaders, not followers. And that kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm saying. And a lot of people, like I know Sarah asked this question, I'll get to it in a second, but be yourself times 10. And if you're struggling with confidence in yourself, the only way to really get confident in this business, I know, is by like doing scary things. I was not myself for the first 2 years of this business. I wasn't until I started talking to people and then they sent a positive response out where I was like, okay, I can be more and more me. And now I have no problem picking up any social media doing that, but I wasn't always there, you guys. So it didn't just naturally come to me. Share your vision for your business. Your struggle is what's going to get you people. Like if you don't talk about your struggle in your story, no one likes a successful person. Think about any successful person that you know. Oprah, what were her struggles? Michael Jordan, what were his struggles? You know them, right? You know that anybody that's successful in life had either a really hard upbringing or like a really shitty thing that happened to them and they rose up from it. Be relatable, be determined to make it happen. How much you share is totally up to you, but let people in your life, man. Tell them your kid's a weirdo. Val's like, how's your weirdo? She wouldn't know that because I'm like,
right.
Yeah, just do stuff like that. Nobody cares. Nobody's judging you. And if they are, oh well, we're adults. Laser focus. Set some time aside to work your business an hour a day. Let me tell you something about this, okay? I remember Lindsay Gray telling me like you only need to be in order to be a diamond, you only work an hour a day. And I do think that's true. But I will say that once you start hitting more, like you're going to see more success and you're going to want to start working more. Okay. But I wouldn't do anything less than figuring out a way to work an hour a day. It's 4% of your day. Get up earlier, drink Energize, stay up later, manage your time better. And I know this sounds kind of blunt, but like sometimes people just need to hear it straight up. I needed somebody to tell me this way, so I hope that's okay. But honestly, if you're not fitting in an hour of business a day, and then maybe one day you work 2 hours and you take a day off, whatever. Like maybe you take 2 days off, whatever. But the days you want to work your business, work it intentionally and work it until you've tackled your list, until you've set up an event, until you've built some content for the week, followed up with coaches, you know, don't get distracted by anything else. The Pomodoro technique is a really good one. You can take like 25-minute increments and work really, really hard and turn everything else off and then just do that. And, you know, don't get distracted. Just remember that goal, that why that makes you cry, that intentional thing that you're behind, and just focus. And you can do it. I promise you. Text your upline, let them know what's going on. And anytime you're in the car or you're like listening, you know, just doing something, washing the dishes. I don't have a dishwasher, isn't that horrible? It's the worst thing ever. Oh, it's my worst nightmare. But I listen to personal development every time I do dishes. So I don't drive a lot. And when I do, I'm in the car with my daughter. I mean, sometimes she'll just listen to it with me, but you have so much time in the day to be listening to personal development. It's going to help you hit diamond. So these are my tips to get there.
Great tips. Great tips.
And Courtney, I think you'll like this too. And I know you just keep me I don't know what time it is. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
9:43.
Okay. All right.
Pure Michigan time.
Pure Michigan time. All right. So these are some things I think you could do now to get in that diamond mindset. It was the things that I needed to do. What I don't think I included everything because I kept thinking of stuff while I was like talking on this call. But like Lindsay Gray and Amanda asked me to get on a call and talk about what it takes to be a diamond. And I was an emerald coach. And I just like came up with all these tips. And I couldn't find that document. I wanted to share it so bad. I'm like, I don't even know if it still exists. It's probably somewhere in one of our groups. But that is one thing you can totally do, is to ask to speak on a team call like this. I'm telling you right now, it will pull sweat out of your body and you're going to freak out and you're going to be like, oh, I still remember one of the first times Courtney did like a live call and we were like she was so nervous, you guys, like look at Courtney now. And I was too, I was freaking out. I like my stomach gets all upset. Like I always feel like I have to shit my brains out and I get really sweaty palms. I know that's TMI, but like it's real. But like that's the only way you get good at it. Now I roll up in here with nothing, like grab a water and I'm like, I'm just going to speak from the heart. But that takes practice. So do things that make you scared and make you feel uncomfortable. And I promise you're going to get better at them. Another thing is like thinking about creating your culture goes alongside with thinking of like a team name and a logo. And that's one of the things that kind of gives you like that entrepreneurial spirit. So if you don't have a team name or something to like call yourself and bring people to, you don't really have a team. You know, you can invite them to your coach's team, but eventually, if you want to be intentional, if you want to walk, you know, drive around in that dream car, if you want to take care of your parents, whatever your why is, you got to start thinking about the culture that you want to create. It could be something silly. Like maybe it's something that your coach does that drives you nuts. I'm sure I drive people nuts. But do it your own way then. But don't sit back there and bitch about what your upline is doing or what somebody else is doing. Like do it yourself, you know. Regular monthly schedule is one thing that I heard at Summit that was like a click for me. So make sure that you're running a schedule every single month that includes some of the following things. Now, you guys probably do your own thing on the team, and I think a lot of coaches do this, but like this is my monthly call schedule, so I have it posted. This is what we do every single month. Sometimes I skip the power hour, which is terrible of me, but that's fine. I look professional, don't I? I'm just kidding. Okay. But like have a paid group, have a free group, and have a business opportunity every single month. free groups are up to certain people. You might not be in that, but if you're not running a paid group every month and you're not running a business presence opportunity every single month at least, you don't have a business. That would be like me walking in a restaurant and them being like a sandwich shop and them being like, we don't have any bread. Like you gotta do that. That's part of what we do, you know? Post on social media daily, do your stories all day. I know you guys are all Instagram people. Hosting your own team calls. Me and Courtney don't have a huge group right now, but we're still here. Doesn't mean you have to have this huge team. I used to host call lists by myself and record them and post them in my team page before coaches even started showing up. And then I think they felt bad for me and they just finally started coming, and now I get people. Become an expert on you and your story. And I keep saying this time and time again because you'll learn that this business is nothing more than perfecting how to share your story. And one of the reasons why we say that is because any top coach in this business that you can think of, you know their whole story. You just do. You know Lindsay Gray's whole story. You know Christina Sullivan's whole story. You know Bonnie Engel, Raina Odell, Lindsay Matway. And if you don't, it's because you never followed them. But this business is a business of storytelling.
And don't you think, too, they repeatedly bang it out? It's just like on autopilot. Like they cycle it out like every couple posts. Yes. That's all they do is really tell their story.
And it's almost like a sequence of it. So you'll get like a piece here, a piece there, a piece there, a piece there, and then you're putting it together. And then you're like, oh, and they love donuts and they like graphic tees, you know, because that's what they do. And then that's all we have to do over and over again. And don't ever feel like just because you shared your story one time that you can't do it again for another month because people saw it. Look at that. You know how algorithms work? They don't. Like you have to just assume that nobody saw it. Right. And nobody's going to get sick of it because you just tell it a little bit differently every time. And that is why I kind of shared my story up front too, because I shared little bits and pieces of it. And I would just break that out in a post. So I would take maybe all those pictures and just be like, this is where I was. And, you know, then tie in like a call to action or something at the end that like allowed me to have flexibility that I've never had before. Or, you know, so you're taking your story, and that's all coaches do. And if you're not good at that, just practice it. And if you're really not good at it, I took a training that I'm more than happy to share with you guys because Courtney is awesome and she always shares stuff with me. Cody Jefferson, I paid for a training with him, and he specialized on storytelling and how you tell stories on social media. And I will share that with you guys. It's a presentation that I made, and it's dope. He teaches you how to do taglines. He teaches you, it was really cool. So I'm going to share that with you guys. I'll send it to Courtney so she can post it to your team page.
Thanks, Carly.
Oh, dude, you're going to love it. And then
I'm going to give you that sign in to that Instagram training when you're ready.
Thanks. See, this is how it works.
Right. I mean, but that's the whole thing. It's just like, you know, I share, you share, it all balances out.
We all share, you know, and I know Val shares stuff too. Val gives me good recipes all the time.
Val's great with recipes.
She's killing it. I need to get my life together with recipes, Val. Maybe you could help me with that. I haven't been good about that. That's all people want. It's such an easy thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Going back real quick.
Yeah.
Going back to these groups. Now, Team Living Proof we got out of whack a little last year, but we're back in it. Yeah. Now, do you run a free group every month?
No.
Okay.
I should. I feel like I should, but I just don't.
So I had a good aha moment today, and I just wanted to share this with your team because I love them, and because we're all busy, and this is the free group thing that I was thinking of because right now we're doing this financial fitness group, which Beth killed it. There was a group Val did for picky eaters. That one killed it. Sarah did a gardening group, killed it. My meditation one, I could add more, but it killed. And so I was telling them today, I'm like, we just need to save those and then do one or two more and then just do it in a loop. You know what I mean? Because just like this financial fitness one, everyone will come back to in like every couple months. So I just wanted to suggest that to your team of like, if one person did it all and then put it in the files together, and then if a person wanted to run a group by themselves, they could have something to choose from. You know what I mean?
I love that. And I love that you guys have something also different, but it's kind of like melds your team into like everything. Like you got to, love it. Meditating, gardening, financial. And I'm in that group. I'm totally being a creep. I'm not paying attention to it enough, but I planned on it. That's awesome. And, we were doing that last year and we got away from it, probably because I did. And I'm like Courtney, I go through crap all the time. And it's like, sometimes you just get off track, but that's another thing about being a leader is like creating things like that and like hyping people up. And then you invite your people on this team where you have a bunch of resources. Like that's super rad. I love that idea. Thank you.
Yes. And then too, Val, we got to get back to the business opportunity because we have not been good. But those like live ones, when I did that coffee talk with Amanda, that was great. That was 45 minutes of our day. It was just her and I talking back and forth with one another. And I'm like, this is how I want this to go. It wasn't like for us, it wasn't staged. It was just like, if you have any questions, come at us. And then we put them into like a group, like the 3-day coach sneak peek. Like you can read through all that. Amanda has a great, because Amanda is so tech savvy, but Amanda has a great link that she just sends people. It has like all the questions and answers. I think she made it on a Google Doc it looks like a 3-day coach sneak peek, Val, but it's like 2 pieces of paper.
Okay.
I should create that and just share that for our team.
That's awesome.
It really was. We're just like, but that was fun to do the coffee talk thing with her because it was casual and it's like people wanted to see it. They could go back to it, But you do that too.
I do. And I think that's fun to do it that way where it's also terrifying. But I started doing that with my team where you could do it a couple different ways. Like what we do is we set up an event and then we used to do private events and like do that whole script with the sneak peek, but like I felt like 5 days was really long. So then we did the interviews like you did. And now what we do is we have anybody who wants to get out of their comfort zone. We set up an event, title it What is Coaching, make a cover photo, and then we all pick a topic and share our story within that. So if, like say Lindsay Magno did like other MLMs, she talks about like her experience with getting recruited by another MLM company, but she's telling the whole story of why she likes Beachbody and how she got started and then ties that in. So she's almost like knocking out a ton of objections by telling her story. And then I would do like, I don't have the time to coach. And then Jackie Dugan would be like, I don't have a Beachbody. But we all tell our story and then pick one topic that kind of focuses on that. And we'll just make that the title. So even if somebody's scrolling around, I mean, granted, you could do a video of this and like post it all. But like it also helps you perfect your story. So it pulls you out of your comfort zone. It gives visibility to like, you get to interact with people that you invite. And like, it just makes you feel like a team. Like then you're all like, hell yeah, you crushed that. Or like, then you know what you could do better. It's fun. You got to make it fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then investing yourself in development or making an investment in your development is another big one. I don't think Courtney or I started doing this so recently. Yes, there's something to be said about buying Shakeology and maybe paying for like a Facebook ad, like $5 or $10, or just, I don't know what else is super cheap. Buying Beachbody on demand.
Yeah.
But then there's like the next level shit, like where people start taking you seriously. Like when I got a business coach, like my whole team leveled up. And I don't know if that was just because I got him and he really helped me, or if it was because they saw me like, oh, and we're not asking you to go out and spend money. I mean, you could do something cheap if you can't afford anything right now, whatever, but it does pay off. Doing an Instagram training, going to a speech. You're not good at speaking in front of people, go to like something about speaking, go to a tech savvy seminar. I don't know, anything.
It is true for that because let's see, what was it, like 2 years ago Christina Sullins was doing, it was something, oh God, this was like, and I wish.
Oh, the platinum presenter thing?
It wasn't that. It was for like, I wish I would have understood it how I do today back then, but I didn't get it. But it was some group that I invested in. There was a couple of us who did it, and it was like more of like what a blog would have done. It would have been like a landing page, like your own website. But that's where I understood my niche market. Like that's where I was like, okay, because Steve helped me figure out like who you're talking to. And that's where I learned. And I paid for that for a couple months, but I never did anything with it because I wasn't tech savvy. So it was like you built your own web page.
Nice.
Yes, it was very nice, but I couldn't get on it. So I canceled it. But that was an investment in myself of learning something. You with Cody this last year, and like, look where your team has come by doing that. This Instagram training, like, investing in that, because the return on investment is just it's priceless of what you learn in this kind of stuff, like, and then where it takes your business or where it takes you. You guys, I'm off this Instagram thing in 1 week. I'm talking to 5 people for my next challenge group.
Love it.
I've been asked to be a brand ambassador already on this because that's what
You're so fancy. I don't even know what to do with you. You're like making it. Me and Val are just sitting here like peasants.
Like, and I'm not even done with this training. Like I stopped because I wanted to get this Captivate thing down. So I was like, okay, so doing this and paying the $87 for three payments, like for me it's worth it, and it's taking it to the next level. And like, you just can't, if you want to succeed, you do have to do some investment. Like down the road, I will definitely be hiring a speech coach to be able to talk in front of a bunch of people, because the thought of that makes me want to shit my pants, like being live in front of people and like a stage, because that's the level I want to go to. And I will say this, another disclosure on this, because Carly, I don't know your team and where they all are. And like my team, like this call, because we think that everyone should get to diamonds in their business, just because one, the payout is more, your business is more, it does run more like a business when you get to diamond. There's special perks of diamond that you don't get as a ruby or an emerald. But that doesn't mean you getting to diamond means that you are going to take it to like 15-star and all this recognition, because that's maybe not what you want. And that is okay. But everybody should have in their business want to get to diamond. Just to get to diamond. I mean, you want that rank for yourself. So, because Carly and I, one of our friends, the other day, I found out she doesn't want all that recognition. And I was actually like very kind of humbled by that with her, because I'm used to me and Carly being like, okay, we want to get to this level. We're walking across the stage at Summit, waving our fucking flags in the air. I'm going to give BDD a slap on the ass. Like, that's my dream. But hers was like, she's like, I don't want that stage recognition. And I'm like, wow, because I haven't heard somebody say something like that. Like, Val, I know you and I've talked where you're like, dude, I wouldn't want a team of like, I wouldn't want a huge team. And I respect that. It's like how I would never want 450 Success Club points in 1 month. That's insane to me. Insane. So like everybody's like vision in this business is different, but I do think that if you're working a team and you want to bring in $1,000 or more a month, you need to get to diamond. You have to.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's not even like not just saying that to like say it, it's just, you're going to get the best return on investment too. Like just putting in the time and effort, and it makes so much sense. It's just when you actually feel like you own a business. I didn't feel like that as an emerald and stuff. I felt like diamond was finally that thing where I was like, now I feel legit. No. I love that. And yeah, that was very humbling to me too. And everybody has different goals. I was like, what? You want to go on stage? I'll go stage for you.
Right.
Like that's her.
Right.
That's awesome.
And I was shocked by it. But then again, too, it's just that it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to run like, it doesn't have to be this intense. This business doesn't have to be this intense, overwhelming thing every day. Make it how you want to make it. Break up a half hour in the morning, a half hour at nighttime. There's some days that's how I break up my day. And there's some days like yesterday I unplugged. Like I'm just like I'm good. I'm set. Like, but it's just a good goal to get to.
Yeah, for sure.
Val, do you have any, Carly, were you all done with your presentation?
Yeah, my last thing was fake it till you make it. I have something on leadership ladder, but we don't have to talk about that unless we want to, because of time. I can just share the presentation with you guys. But like, I think that sometimes when you just think of it as a diamond, like, do you ever meet somebody that's a coach and you're like, oh, they're not a diamond, but they like act like it and they're doing all the things a diamond would do, but they're just waiting on like that coach? That's what I would recommend you doing. Just like already think that you are a diamond and it will happen. And I know I kind of said that earlier on, but I did. And that no matter what, it's going to happen, no matter what. And you're not the end of the world if you don't want to hit diamond, but it's just like, I would like to say that a lot of people join this opportunity not to make $50 every couple weeks. Like you want to make consistently $200-$300, $500, $1,000 to bring home to your family every month. Then that's what you need to do.
Totally. There was a thing at Summit, and I think I said this on one of my calls or one of my videos I did. There was this lady's story at Summit. They had a variety of stories. Her story was in a sweet little Mormon shared it. Jeff Hill shared it on opening ceremony. And it was this woman who she joined Beachbody to make $100 extra a month. And she ends up making $1,000 extra each month. And she said what the difference was of making that $1,000 each month was being able to give her kids a second helping of dinner. I'm sitting in that chair like bawling because I'm like, oh my God. It was like, just for her to have said that of like, I don't have to worry now of if my kids ask for a second helping, I can tell them yes instead of telling them no. So that's all the different, like that's what her why was, to feed her children. Like I get goosebumps talking about it now. Oh, Carly, are you crying?
No, I almost did though, because I just pictured her little body and I was like, oh, that was amazing.
And it was, and it's just like one of those success stories. That's what I'm saying. Not everybody's like in it for like top 10. I don't want to be top 10 coach. I don't want that responsibility. Yeah. I have my goals of what I want in this, and I'm going to roll with it and go with it. And that's the greatest thing that you can do in this business. It's yours.
It is. You know what, too? This is the last thing I wanted to say. I was reading. Christina Sullen said something to me that literally whacked me upside the head. And I never thought about it this way, because she does talk a lot in this group, that we're a direct selling team. And I guess if you want to look at that way, that's fine. I don't ever look at myself as a salesperson because I don't like selling. I just never have. But we do sell a lot of things in our everyday lives, whether it be to our children for them to eat broccoli, or your husband to get him to do the dishes. That's just kind of what you're doing in this business. And she mentioned something that slapped me across the face, and she said, you aren't selling a product, you're selling a dream. And that is exactly what Courtney just explained. That lady's dream was to give her kids an extra helping full of food. So when you're going to your why and you have these dreams and you have this vision, remember that on social media, when you're explaining yourself, and to answer Sarah's question, like that's probably my number one thing that I try to do, is just like, I'm living out my dream job, not just being a mom, but having the flexibility to be a working mom from home and never miss anything. And that's what I try to represent to people. And I think that was a really cool quote. I was like, damn, Christina.
It is. Real quick, Ju, because I know that Team LP has this problem, and I want to know if you guys have this problem. Converting challengers to discount coaches for people who, do you have problems with people who are on Shakeology and then the performance line and keep refusing the discount program? Do you guys have that problem? Because we do.
I have that problem all the time.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, like you mean they just don't stay on it, or like they're discount coaches but they don't stay on it? Is that what you're saying? Or
no,
can't even getting them to discount?
No, they won't become a discount coach.
They won't become a discount coach.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid. So
that's what we think.
You know what we need is like, I try to, I've done the whole like breakout, of what you save for a year and stuff. And then people just, they either receive it well or they don't. But we need one for like the performance line. Like,
that's a good idea.
Do you save?
That is a very good idea.
I bet you there's one like that out there.
Because I will say Val's team, she has a lot of challengers who like, it's bizarre where it's just like we don't understand. It's that $15 fee that's messing with people's heads where they just don't understand. Like I've told Val, it's like you might have to get on the phone with people because something is being lost in translation. Not saying it's your fault, their fault, but there's something that people are not understanding. So I'm just wondering.
It is. You know what? And I think you're right, because sometimes they forget about that discount price, and even like a discount coach will fall off the face of the earth for my downline. And I'm like, what? They're like, well, I'm sick of paying the fee. I'm like, but I wish there was a better way for us to sign up. Like it didn't like come up that way for discount coaches almost with Beachbody, but we just, it obviously works for some people. So I've done this where I'll go and share a cart and I like share my price and I'll screenshot it and then I'll send it to people.
Val, that's genius.
And I'm like, and they're like, wait, how do I get it at that price? I'm like, well, you're basically I call it a preferred customer. And I say they use discount coach, and you always use the analogy of Southwest Airlines because everyone loves Southwest Airlines. And I always say that I consider it like a rewards program, so you kind of have to like pay for certain things or whatever. And then I'll send them that and they'll go to check out and they'll see that it's more expensive and they'll be like, why is yours cheaper? And I'm like, oh, coach discount. Here's what it is.
That's genius.
I made my coaches, I didn't make them. I suggested that they made a video about the discount opportunity because sometimes it's annoying, like re-explaining it. So maybe you perfect like a little video for yourself and you ask people about the discount opportunity and then just be like, hey, I'm busy. You're not tied to anything. Say, would you like to watch this little video I made about it? Because 90% of my customers sign up this way. I always say that too. 90% of my customers do not sign up that way, but I fucking say that because that's what I do. Because that's my dream. It used to be like that, and then my percentage went down because all my coaches quit. Now I have a ton. But like, it's smart. We're not. Sounds bad. I'm not telling you guys to lie, but like, it's true.
I get it. You gotta just fib a little, It's true, you do, because it doesn't make sense. And like hers, it just doesn't make sense with some of these women where we're like, what is happening?
Well, especially the ones who do the performance line and Shaco and the early access. And like I have this one girl who's like posting on her social media like every day that she does her workouts for the Lift 4 program. And I'm like, you're basically already coaching. Like, why? What are you doing? Why aren't you doing this?
Yeah. Have you ever had that problem, Carly?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like recently. Some people I just keep bugging them. Like, because I feel like it's like, people don't hear things until the 7th time in this business.
That's true.
So it's like when you learn something, like you probably heard about Diamond from Courtney forever, but like maybe Courtney shares it in the challenge group, or somebody goes live in there and just talks about it. And you just keep giving them to them in different ways, and just be like, hey, I know I'm super annoying, but maybe try your approach differently. Maybe you're just being too nice. I don't know what you're saying to them. But just be like, hey, listen, I just want to let you know that you could have bought a whole bag of Shakeology for a friend with the savings that you in the last 6 months. Because I think you do save $100 in 6 months if you have a discount on Shakeology. And they drink Shakeology, they're being silly.
Yeah.
Keep exploring other ways to do it. That would be my honest advice.
And do you share at the end of your accountability group, do you always drop the coach opportunity in there?
No, I probably should.
Val, that one time you did that video, that got a lot of people. That got a lot of people for me. I had a couple. Yeah, Val did this great video. Like maybe we should do that again.
I should do that.
Like Val dropped it because I was like, I think somebody besides me needs to say it, and it
was just a straight up video. Like, yeah.
So I think smart.
Yeah.
Even just like a poll. We used to do polls a lot. Like what's the next steps? Like, because you'll find the people that would be a rock star coach or whatever, and you reach out to them one-on-one. But I think sharing the opportunity is really smart. I like that. Or even just the story. I used to do that in the beginning of every single one of my challenge groups as I perfected, because I wanted to work on telling the story of how Beachbody was kind of created. How it organically started, like Carl Deichler. I always talk about Big Dick Carl, your boy, and like how he started this business, because I think people do think it's like this sales thing. And I'm like, no, actually it's not. And this is why. And sometimes that gets people interested or just like intrigued, and they come around later. But I like that. It's a good idea. The free groups, you gave me a good idea, and the whole business opportunity at the end of challenge groups. Totally taking that.
I think we need to get back to that. I really do. Val, do you have any questions for Carly?
I don't think so. That was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh my God, I'm so glad you were here. Me and Courtney talk all the time.
All of your knowledge.
It's all just...
I'm glad I was here too.
I know. It's all just a bunch of nonsense that I just put together. But I'm going to give you guys this presentation because I also feel like, Courtney, you could share some of this stuff on your next call too. Like I made a bunch of stuff about Success Club. I don't know if you have new coaches or people that don't know, like I did, like why it's important to share hit Success Club every month, what it is, the benefits. And then I did some stuff on recruiting school and the leadership ladder. So you can just have this.
Thank you. Yeah, because
awesome. Thank you.
I want, with my team like you do, start working more with their downline, because all the girls have a couple people who want to start working, or at least one. Yeah. And it is true, like Carly was saying, Val, about the 4 people on how she hit that in with her paycheck.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
It was also during like a new launch.
Yeah, so that's why it's important to get behind those new launches, but also it shows you in this business, because that's where my mind was at, where I'm like, oh my God, I need like 25, 30 coaches working this business, and it's not the case. And I think that's where I learned it this year. It's like, you just need a couple good ones, a couple people who want to run with you, and like, that's it, really. And it's important though to add on like 1 or 2 like good people on your team each year.
For sure. And switch up the vibe and give you some energy, and
Right.
I thought the same thing. Like, I think I even knew that in the back of my... You always used to say that, because I think your mom did, right, Courtney? Your mom used to tell you like 5 people or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hear Christina Sellens who had 50 coaches and she had a millionaire club. And I was like, what? Here I am thinking I need 50 working coaches. Like, no. So great. That's such a relief to me. My God.
So all she had was 50 on her whole both legs.
50. And I want to say working coach wise, she had like 6 or 7, she said. That's it.
And then she had some coaches drop off this year, right?
She did, like some really big organizations. But she got like some people in there. So.
But that's what I don't understand. Like I've told you and like how I've told you about your like, how do you just say, F it, I'm done after all of that you've just worked with?
Sounds exhausting. Like how could, I don't know. Like that's what my coach did.
Yeah.
Belle, if you don't know this, I should probably stop recording. Well, thanks everybody for joining the call. Courtney, you close it.
Oh yes, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Team Living Proof Push Play It Forward call for this Tuesday.
Thanks,
Now
ladies.
we're just talking. Belle, don't hang up yet. And if you have any questions, comment below, and that's all we got. So thanks Carly, for joining or being on this call with us.
Thank you, girls.
Thanks. It was awesome. Okay.